So my second question to you would be about talking to entrepreneurs in terms of starting up their businesses. At the time that you came into Green Spoon Martyr, it's almost like you changed the company and started it not from the ground up, but it turned into a different company. So what would you say as somebody starting or launching a company, what is important to kind of move the needle and get things rolling? What would be some of your top pieces of advice?
Well, I think that your brand identity is very important. That was a huge part of, it has been a huge part of my role at Green Spoon Martyr. And I think for most companies, or all companies, that's a really true, starting point. Who are you? What do you do? What are you about? And how do people identify you from the others? So whether it's visually or in another way, what makes you that brand? For us, it was taking, 30 plus years of history and basically giving it that 2.0 version of it when I started with the firm. And I think now, after having been there, 4 years, we're going on to the 3.0 version of the firm.
It's time to move on.
Yeah.
It almost happens faster.
It happens faster every single time. And although it's very exciting, it's also very scary, because I think people think, well, what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? What are other people doing? What works for them? What hasn't worked for us? But I think it's very important to create that identity of who you are, and also take calculated risks. So, a lot of people are risk adverse. They want to play it super, super safe. And it's something that I hear all the time from my owners is, we take calculated risks. And I think for us, it's really paid off in spades, because we've invested in areas that were emerging areas. And I think for entrepreneurs, it translates in the same way. Look for places where there's a void, where there's a need for a service or a product, because the space is not going to be cluttered. It's not going to be saturated. And so the same goes for any business. If you can find a way to come to market with a service or a product that others don't have or can't provide in a certain way, and you can do it better or do it and nobody else can do it, you're leagues ahead of that.
Yeah, and I agree with you there, because you could almost argue the point that there are so many attorneys and law firms out there. What makes you different? But obviously something does, because you wouldn't have had such a big growth spurt in that short amount of time. So it's almost like finding that, I use the term with other entrepreneurs, that micro niche, like that. What is that area that you can fill that has not been filled in yet? So.
Correct.